Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the Real Bros Podcast. I am your host, Logan Thomas, and with me, as always, is my most excellent co-host,
Caden Green.
and together we are
The Real Bros.
Caden, which Jurassic movie are we tackling today?
Technically, this is the final Jurassic World movie, and it is Jurassic World Dominion.
Yes, not to be confused with Jurassic World Rebirth. That's a whole other.
I guess we could technically consider Rebirth a independent project.
I would definitely say Rebirth is like a little epilogue.
Yeah.
But I would definitely consider this the final Jurassic movie.
Oh, absolutely.
If you never see Rebirth, you're not gonna miss much. There's
No.
no big franchise implications. There's no returning characters. It's its own isolated incident,
Yeah.
which is it's a thing. It's a thing. But we're talking about the epic conclusion of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchises here today. And per Caden, I need to bring up an incident. This is not our first time recording this episode.
Unfortunately not.
We made it through about a half an hour worth of content in the last recording, only to find out nothing got picked up. Due to my part, I make sure that the soundboard was connected to the OBS software, because I don't know why it wasn't, but whatever. We're here now. We're here to be professional. Second time is always better. Hopefully it's the last time. But all right. Caden, what are your thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion? Because this movie kind of has a personal connection to both of us.
Yeah.
I would say I wouldn't remember much from the first time we watched this movie. Because this was my first date with Carly. And Caden was there.
This was the first time we watched this movie. It was a double date.
Mm-hmm.
Logan said when we rewatched the movie for notes and whatnot, he said he was mostly looking at Carly the entire movie, so he doesn't remember anything.
Yeah, I didn't remember half of this movie. I thought it was way worse than what it was because the only parts I saw was bugs.
Whereas I was just sitting there absolutely amazed because I'm like, whoa, big dinosaurs.
Yeah, I thought there was maybe 5 minutes of dinosaur content in this movie at first.
No.
I was wrong.
You were very wrong.
But you know what? On my second viewing, I'm gonna give this movie a much higher rating. We watched the extended version.
Mm-hmm.
It had 14 more minutes of film, I believe. I would say this is probably the better way to see this movie, just so you get the entire thing or whatever. I think they said they added more dinosaur footage or whatever.
Right.
That's probably why I thought there was less dinosaur stuff at first. I do think this is a dense movie.
Oh, absolutely.
This movie clocks in about 2 hours and 40 minutes, somewheres in there.
Sounds right.
And so when we're taking notes, it usually takes us double the time because we pause and whatever. And since both of us didn't hardly remember anything from this movie, I have 8 pages of notes here, and it's the most I've ever had. And it took us 6 hours to watch this movie.
And I stopped taking notes after my 5th page.
Because there's just so much they're doing in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not a bad thing at all.
No.
It's a great movie if you're not reviewing it for a podcast and having to take notes. But in any other way, it's a great final chapter, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
It hits all those nostalgia points, which we will be having again in this episode. And I think it does kind of close out everything they've been building upon with the themes of the Jurassic World films about cause and effect and how unleashing it upon the world and the coexistence theme is very, very big in this movie. I would say watch this if you are a Jurassic fan. You'll probably hit all of those uh, uh, fan service points to a degree, but they're not gratuitous.
No.
I would say. Yeah, I think this is a great movie. Caden, what are your thoughts? I've been kind of running this.
Well, you said it best. It's a very dense movie. It's got anywhere from one story up to three stories going on at any
Yeah,
given point.
I think that's the part that hurts it
Yeah,
is
it's
because there's 2 or 3 different stories going on at once, and these stories have to take turns.
like by no means is it confusing, but there's still a lot going on.
Because like you'll be like following Owen and Claire, and then for like a half an hour you don't even see him again. You're like, oh hey, we forgot Claire and Owen are over here. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of unnecessary splitting up in this story. It is understandable for the first 2 hours of the movie, but the last hour is very much
Let's just do it for runtime, it feels like.
yeah. But yeah, it's a good movie. Caden, do you want to take us through our quick review?
Anything you want to add?
Go check it out. Solid Jurassic World movie. I'd say it's the last good one. um, uh, and I don't mean to hate on Rebirth. It has its moments, but its necessity to exist outlives its existence.
I will definitely say with Rebirth, I noticed a lot more like plot point errors
Mm-hmm.
than any other movie. Like things that shouldn't have happened simply due to physics that the movies themselves follow.
Right. Like this one is definitely a story that needs to be told. Whereas Rebirth is like, hey man, we gotta get some of that Jurassic money flowing back through the studio. Why not? Because it's supposed to be a trilogy. Thank the Lord there's no more. They've beaten this franchise to death. Let it rest. It needs to go extinct.
But which I did say this in our last recording, but they could very well bring up the Cretaceous period.
Cretaceous Park.
Uh-huh. Which that would just be horrible. Like what are you gonna see there?
Crabs.
Crabs, really old alligators.
Big iguanas.
I feel like that. See, from what I understand, though, some of the dinosaurs fit into the Cretaceous period.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, it's like there's no direct period. They just want to call it Jurassic.
Yeah, it's.
But anything else?
I'm good.
All right. So let's get on to the quick review. So obviously, this movie we're covering is Jurassic World Dominion, which follows Owen, Claire, and Maisie. But it follows Owen and Claire as they kind of go on this round the world trip to save Maisie from being kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
Along the way, they meet up with some older characters from previous movies. And they kind of team up, split up, each with their own separate stories.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's about as most as I can delve into without getting into any kind of plot points.
Yeah, because there's only about 30 of those in this movie. Every scene is probably a crucial plot point. Either that or it's just filler.
From character introduction to reasoning.
To action sequence.
Mm-hmm.
To CGI fest sequence. To characters looking handsome or beautiful in the camera or whatever. All the above, I would say. And most of that is Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm. Which I gotta say, I don't know why he looks so good in this movie. I think it's just because he broke out the old like leather and stuff from the original movie or whatever. But like it's hitting all those great notes.
See, I will say with Goldblum, I'm not a fan of the I wasn't a fan of the beard that he had for a while.
Oh, and Fallen Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely aged him.
Mm-hmm.
He looked like he could play Gandalf or something. You shall not pass. Is that
Don't do that again.
was that a good imitation at
No.
least? Oh, okay. Well, I guess Jeff Goldblum is one I can't do.
That was more like the Joker.
Life finds a way.
Shut up.
Which I am glad they did not say that in this movie. Because I feel like that would have been worth like 20 nostalgia points on its own.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Are we ready to get into production tales, my good man?
Yes, sir.
All right. Back when Jurassic World, the first movie, was being developed, Colin Trevorrow and Steven Spielberg envisioned a trilogy. They didn't want it to be episodic, kind of like how the Jurassic Park trilogy was, where it's just very much like 3 independent stories that are just existing in the same world.
Right.
But it wanted to tell like much deeper themes, much more meaning, character arcs, but the Jurassic Park trilogy has that, but it's just not as apparent because you only check in with the characters maybe every other movie.
Right.
Because like Alan's not in 2, and the only reason 2 is brought up in 3 is because Alan just name drops it because he acknowledges that he wasn't there. So, but that was the idea, and Jurassic World producer Frank Marshall confirmed that it would be a trilogy in 2015. Universal announced Jurassic World 3 in 2018. They had no title for it. Derek Connolly and Emily Carmichael based the story on Trevorrow's original idea for what a third movie would be. And Trevorrow, he wanted different directors in these movies because he feel like different directors could bring different flavors and stuff to these movies.
Right.
And so that's why J.A. Bayona came in for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and he did much more of a horror vibe because he's a Spanish horror director. And, you know, those guys are kind of good at what they do.
Right.
But he said he did not want to return for the third movie. And so Trevorrow had been set to direct Star Wars Episode 9. I know that face. I don't even know if Colin Trevorrow could have been able to save that movie. If J.J. Abrams couldn't have, nobody could have. Let's just be honest here. But before leaving the project in 2017, Episode 9 was the finale of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, as everybody knows. And so he took he described it as a practice run of his for Jurassic World Dominion. So he took a lot of the mindset and everything of that movie and applied it to Dominion,
Right.
which you can definitely tell there are some similarities to these two movies. Because, like, these movies have an incredible weight on their shoulders, more so Episode 9 than this movie, because you have 8 other movies that you have to wrap up in this one movie. And then in Dominion, you just have to wrap up 5.
Right.
Much easier job, I would say. What was it going? Okay. Sorry, I lost track there.
Shocker.
He used his experience from Star Wars on the project. He was also joined by several of its crew members. Legendary Entertainment co-financed the 2 previous films, but was not involved with the third, since its 5-year contract at Universal had expired in 2018. And you can kind of tell that there's a difference because like the other 2 were like extremely dinosaur heavy. Because like Legendary's like, hey, big CGI fights. That's what I'm best at, bro. Because like the Monsterverse,
Yeah.
Pacific Rim,
Mm-hmm.
both of those big CGI fights.
Absolutely.
And you gotta admit, those guys, they work their CGI really well over there. Like usually if you see a Legendary Pictures logo, you know you're in for like some decent effects.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think it hindered this movie at all.
No.
Because I think this is the best the dinosaurs have ever looked. Because like they even have like the little hairs on the dinosaurs now, which I thought they did really well.
The scientific feathers or whatever.
They also added the feathers. I really like that. That kind of wraps it up to confirming Alan was right that they all turned into birds. You know, in the final film, this is when we get lore accurate raptors or whatever, but it's fine. Not much else was different, and not much else was difficult on production. It went pretty smooth. Trevorrow did not want to depict dinosaurs terrorizing cities. He wanted it to be more of a ecological disaster. Not really a disaster, more like an upheaval, which understandable. Yeah. I mean, hello, dinosaurs and humans is like, I think that really leans heavy into the ideal of coexistence, which is like, I would say the major theme of this movie.
Right.
And I think they handle it really, really well. For inspiration of this movie, he watched Planet Earth and Alien Invasion movies. Interesting. And their idea was originally to bring back the original characters to wrap up the film. The only downside is they were going to have Lex and Tim come back, which I am sad we didn't get to see them.
Right.
But it's understandable because I feel like at that point it'd be way too much fan service.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because like honestly, with the way that they did it, I don't think there'd be a reasonable way to bring them back that would seem natural.
No.
They did think about bringing Lowry back.
Lowry.
That's the control room guy from Jurassic World, your favorite guy. Because they brought Barry back.
Right.
But yeah, they couldn't find any way for them to bring them back. Now, I do want to say this movie did get filmed over COVID.
Which that definitely probably hindered it a lot.
A lot of their on location stuff is what they did during like lockdown or whatever, because they were able to be in open spaces and whatever, but like the studio stuff they weren't really able to do because of how enclosed it was. I would definitely say that hindered this movie's box office, because because this came out in 2022. This was back when people were just kind of starting to come back to the movies.
Right.
Now it's like nothing ever happened. And I think it's honestly been better than it ever has been.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, this was in that time period when they were like, well, maybe we'll just put it on streaming and theaters. Because they did that for Halloween. The second one. I forget what that one's called. But they did that. They did it simultaneously, and it lost a bunch of money. Well, obviously, like that's not how the business works. Like, you can't expect you can't put your movie's budget based on the hope that your subscribers are going to go up.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to have that be a success. You have to have the box office numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Because every little bit of that, the studio gets a change of. Every little piece, concessions, all of it. That's where the money gets made. But, we're only just movie reviewers, we don't know anything.
No, we don't.
But we can pretend we do.
I will say, you did bring this up before. If this movie would have gone to streaming immediately,
it'd be dead in the water.
Well, not only that, but we might not have seen a recurrence or a big rise in movies like we have recently.
Oh, yeah.
Especially a lot of these smaller indie products. And these smaller movies are what's making a real big comeback.
Yeah, just because horror is dominating things right now. It is unheard of for horror to be this predominant in the business.
Yeah.
But so many people are taking it from so many different angles. It's like, hey, the business is finally noticing and they hate it. Look what Mark did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
With Iron Lung. This man paid for his own movie, paid his people.
Out of pocket, probably.
His own money, self-financed everything. Not everybody can do this. That is a given. Nobody has Markiplier success. That's understandable. But this man did it all himself, and he made so much money.
And it Hollywood actually hated it.
Because he even came out and said hey, with what we got in returns, I'm able to pretty much double everybody's salary as a bonus. Normal studio workers don't get that if their movie's a success. They get their flat rate and that's it, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The state of Hollywood is changing, and I think it's changing for the better.
For the best, if we're being honest.
There's always going to be those studios that are going to be picking and nagging or whatever, but it's definitely nice to see that they're taking a change and trusting the filmmakers,
the people,
and and I think that's why horror is kind of taking off now, because they need to trust the creators.
Yeah.
And not be like, well, I think we should do this because I think that's going to be the most profitable. How'd that work out for Justice League? I feel like that is a situation where it's an entire episode discussion on its own.
Mm-hmm. Because then you got to talk about Batman, Superman, the Wonder Woman movie, the Flash movie, Ezra Miller. There's a lot to talk about if we get into Justice League.
Honestly, I would say honestly, just in an episode discussing why the Snyder Cut exists and why that is so important.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later. We're talking about Jurassic World, man. We got Superman fighting dinosaurs over here, which he has done, by the way.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, they fought Godzilla, so what's the difference? They're just a little bit bigger.
Better question, who hasn't Godzilla fought?
He hasn't fought Marvel characters.
Yeah. Godzilla has fought the Justice League.
Has he fought Godzilla?
Yes.
Crap.
Godzilla has fought himself. Godzilla has fought Marvel. Godzilla has fought everything.
Has Godzilla fought the boys?
He's fought the Justice League. That's
Close
pretty.
enough.
Yeah.
All
He's
right.
fought God.
That's fair. There's so much Godzilla I don't have.
So much Godzilla you'll probably never get either.
No. That's true. Hey, as long as at some point I'm able to complete my Heisei era collection, I will be fine. Already got the Showa era. I just need the Heisei era. I'll be fine. It just doesn't help. There's like 20 of those. Caden, are we ready to pass our spoiler breach?
Budget.
Oh, that's correct.
You're lucky I did forget.
All right. This movie's budget was estimated between 185 million and 265 million. That's the estimated.
Okay.
Forbes indicate high net costs nearing 465 million due to the pandemic related expenses.
Right.
So let's just say the budget was 465 million. Caden, how much do you think this movie made?
6 million.
That's highballing. That's like Avatar money.
6 million?
Oh, I thought you said billion.
No.
Oh, higher. If it only made 6 million, it'd be a bomb.
8 million.
Higher.
2 billion.
Too high.
1 billion.
Cha-ching!
Yeah, that's not bad.
Estimated between 1.002 and 1.004 billion. It would be the highest performance, but because of the pandemic situation or whatever, people not going to the movies, it wasn't as big of a success, but it was still a success.
Right.
But you know what? That's fine. That's fine. They made their money back. The series ended on a high note. It didn't stay there, but you know what? It's fine. Even though Rebirth was still considered a success, they still figured they probably should just end the franchise.
Probably for the best.
But like, I'm not going to get into it. We'll get into that in the next episode. All right, Caden, are we ready to hit our spoiler zone?
Before we do that, let's say what we normally say. If you haven't seen the movie already, stop the podcast, stop the video, go watch it for yourself, and then come back and join us.
And that is your final warning.
Absolutely.
Starting now. All right, guys. The movie starts with, I would really say this is beautiful scenery, because we have, so you know how they use the herbivores in Jurassic Park to like create like that wonder.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts out with a bunch of brackies, and I wrote these brackies and dactyls living in the Colorado mountains. And by the way, when I say this scene is beautiful, I do mean this scene is beautiful. At first, I thought it was like The Lion King or something, because it kind of almost looks like that Serengeti scene right from like the very beginning.
Right.
And it very much shows the uncoexistence, because you go from the beginning of this movie to the end of this movie, and you see how like it's just kind of flipped. And I like that they show that, because I feel like that really kind of bookends it really, really nice. But you know, it's not all peaceful out there in the quote unquote jungle.
The Badlands almost.
The Badlands. While everybody knows that the T-Rex is the biggest and the baddest, Caden, we have somebody a little bit bigger and a little bit badder in this movie.
The Giganotosaurus.
The largest carnivore to ever live.
Land carnivore, right?
Land carnivore, yeah, sorry.
And it's not even that it was bigger.
It was longer.
A lot. longer.
This thing looks like a giant gecko. Like, that was like, when I first saw it, I was like, that's not the Giganotosaurus. It looks like a giant lizard, dude. Come on. I was like, dude, that's what the Giganotosaurus is.
Which I like the Giganotosaurus,
Mhm.
but I think it kind of looked like the Indominus a bit.
It just felt very basic for them trying to say that this is the antagonist dinosaur.
Kind of.
Because, like, this movie really doesn't have an antagonist dinosaur.
No.
This movie just like, hey, we did the whole genetics thing. What else we got? We got the largest land carnivore that ever lived. Sold, just use it. It's better than what we get in Rebirth.
I
No comment.
I do remember what I was going to say. I don't remember what Rebirth was, but I do remember.
Xenomorph.
Shut up.
But no, the Giganotosaurus kills this T-Rex. And no, everybody, it is not Rexy.
Because this was like 65 million years before the present story, I thought.
Mm-mm.
No, it's during present day?
It's during present day.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
But yeah, because you gotta remember, they're all loose and they all become like extremely territorial depending on like the climate that they were used to back in the in days. I would say.
Back in my day, 65 million years ago,
there wasn't little urchins running around in cars. And I wrote this note, dope logo. I think this movie has the coolest opening logo.
Oh, absolutely.
Rebirths is pretty good, but I would say that's like the only dope thing about Rebirth is the opening logo for that movie. And we cut to a news report. Dinos in our world. And it shows like just the uncoexistence. And like it is such a representation of like people that are just like not meshing with it.
No.
And that's understandable. Because like there's dinosaurs amongst us.
Giant reptilian killing machines.
And I want to note this. We watched the battle at Big Rock before we watched the movie. Honestly, I would say that's a great place to start before you watch the movie because it kind of sets up some of the themes of this movie in a way, and it uses little clips of that short film in this
news
scene, which I thought that was kind of neat little tie-in or whatever. And at this point, we are introduced to Biosyn. And we get to meet our resident villains for the movie. If it's not apparent the first time you see it. Caden, why is that?
Why is Biosyn the bad guys or?
Yeah.
That's a trick question. Kind of, and I don't think we should discuss it this early.
Should we talk about the person this early because he's introduced? Or do we want to get into the I would say we get into the motives when we get there. But I feel like we need to introduce the character because he is introduced at this moment.
He is yes, we will discuss him, and I will say he is technically a reoccurring character, though not played by his original actor.
Which is really unimportant. He was only in the original movie for like maybe 5 minutes.
If even.
We're talking about Dodgson, ladies and gentlemen. Louis Dodgson.
Technically the guy that started the entire first movie's incident.
This is the guy that gave Nedry the shaving cream can. And I do want to put in my first nostalgia point because Dodgson, man. It's Dodgson. We got Dodgson here.
And you weren't wanting to count that at first, right?
I just feel like it was more of a plot point, but then I realized it like, oh hey,
Consistency.
yeah. And this guy has dinosaur collection rights because Biosyn has like a living thing that they are sanctuary that they are essentially bringing in all of these dinosaurs and letting them live as they would. Seems great on the cover, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, on the cover, Dodgson seems like a really good guy.
Because like he's not your typical mustache twirling villain from this series.
Mm-mm.
It's much more complicated than that, and I like that because like he didn't intend it to be villainous means by any means whatsoever. It just went that way because the project went bad, and he's trying to fix it, but he's going about it the wrong way. That's all. That's all we're gonna say for right now. Then we get our only real look at Mosey in this movie, which is kind of sad. We are on like on a fishing boat, and Mosey wants that fish, man.
I think it's a crab rig.
Crab rig, yeah. But they're pulling it in, and all of a sudden you just see his gigantic mouth just come out of the water. I was like, oh, like yep, you can have him. Sorry,
that's not bueno.
That's not bueno, bro. The crabs are yours, man. I'm sorry. we fished in the wrong spot, man. I'm sorry.
Won't happen again, I promise.
Happens the very next day. I didn't mean it, bro. Then we cut to Saw Ridge, where Claire and Zia are infiltrating a breeding facility. And it turns out that Claire has been doing a lot of
activist,
kind of espionage, activist stuff, sabotage. She's essentially turned into Nick Van Owen. That's like the easiest way to explain it.
Right.
They do a dino rescue, and Franklin shows up in his van. And then we get a van car chase with a stampede of a new kind of herbivore, which is this movie's kind of special triceratops or whatever. The Zoomiceratops, I think, if I wrote that down right.
I don't remember. I just called them the tritops. It wasn't very clear on this, but I just referred to them as distant cousins of the triceratops.
Yeah, because they have two horns and they have like a snubby nose. There's no third horn.
And these ones, from what I looked up, are the ones that are more associated with like the massive shield forehead with the two holes in it.
Yeah. And so we have a huge car chase with those guys. As you can tell, damage is done.
A lot of damage.
And then afterwards, Franklin and Zia are pretty much saying they're done. They're tired of making a difference like this in this way.
Right.
While Claire is still wanting to be like this activist, they want to try to do things the right way. And that's understandable because like doing that forever, it's no life really.
No.
And sadly, this is the last time we see Zia. But Franklin does reoccur in this movie in very minuscule parts, which I'm glad because his character is, I would say, a little bit more likable than Zia's is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just because he was the comic relief in the last movie, and he does such a good job at it.
And then in this movie, he was full serious.
Yeah, I think it's just because like when he did Fallen Kingdom, he really wasn't an act. He was like a no name, but ever since then he's had Detective Pikachu. He's had Dungeons and Dragons, so he's definitely matured more as an actor. Which I'm not saying that makes sense of why Franklin's serious all of a sudden. But
yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. I appreciate you going into detail though.
I mean, the reason the character is more serious is because of the vocation he has later on in this movie. But
Also that, and he's, obviously sick of doing that lifestyle would probably be another reason.
right, absolutely, you can only take so much of that.
Yeah.
Then we cut to the Sierra Mountains, where I'm gonna let Caden take this, because this is one of his favorite parts. Caden,
Alright.
take it away.
So, we're on the Sierra Mountains, and we immediately cut to some herders.
Mm-hmm.
And they're herding the pompadour.
It's too late. It's the Elvis dinosaurs. It's but they've been called all this time for us.
Pompadour is the Elvis. Can't remember the real name, but that's what we call them.
We thank Roland for this.
They're the ones with the long horns on the back of their head.
Mm-hmm.
But the herders are just trying to get them out of poaching territory.
Yep.
And one of said herders is Owen.
Yeah, because these guys are wildlife agents. I think they are.
Mm-hmm. And I wrote down in my notes, Owen is now a cowboy. Because one of the, whatever they're called, separates from the pack. So Owen goes after it on his horse. He lassos it perfectly. Manages to get it to stop. And then calms it down. His training with the Raptors really helped him out.
And I love how we both wrote Owen the Elvis Wrangler. There's nothing better than that. I don't think. And then we are confronted with poachers,
Mm-hmm.
who will play a bigger part in this story later on. And they're like, "Hey, man, this is our land. We'll be taking them." And there's a standoff, and Owen gives up the Elvis sore. And everybody's like, "Dude, I've never seen you walk away from a fight before." And Owen's like, "I got obligations." And then we cut to Maisie at the Grady / Deering household. She, I forget like what exactly she's doing, but she's getting ready to go into town.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Blue running around in the woods because, as you know, this is Owen's cabin he was building, and so it's in the middle of nowhere. And as on Maisie's way back in from town, because she went to get supplies for a art project or something of that variety, I believe.
I thought she went into town just to get like candy or something.
I'm not entirely sure. It's not really important, anyways.
No.
On our way back, we get lumberyard brachiosauruses.
And this was I really like this scene.
This is like the brachiosaurus scene of this movie, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would say this one captures that wonder of the brachiosaurus,
both in the characters' views and in ours.
And because there's two of them, and they realize,
I would say this takes place in like a quarry or around a quarry.
It's a lumberyard.
My bad. My apologies. I'll just stay quiet.
2 hours later, oh hey guys, Caden's still here. But Maisie's like, if you want him to move, you're gonna have to do this, and they light a flare and they drive off into the nowhereness. I guess it really doesn't show where
I would say the woods.
Probably the woods,
because where they're at right now is where they're actively working.
Yeah. And then Maisie gets back home, and Claire is there, and she's burning, quote unquote, not evidence of any potential activist actions or of any kind. Um, and this is where we really get that teenager mom clash,
Mm-hmm.
and we get angsty Maisie. It's all right. That was Caden accidentally punching his microphone. Sorry, guys. He just really hated it the way it looked at him there for a second.
Stop it.
Caden, what did you think of Angsty Maisie?
I honestly, I wasn't a fan of it, but it fully makes sense.
Because, like, I think it's because of the way she portrays it. It's more pouty than it is angsty. I think I'll think of it as a lot of it is her accent and stuff.
Mm.
Because, like, she has that proper English accent.
Yeah.
And so it comes off as like, no, you're not my mom. And so it's like that kind of. I don't know if that's an accurate description or not, but that's what we're going with.
I don't know what is.
You know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
But then they get into it, and then Owen gets home, and then we see Blue watches the house as Owen gets home.
Blue still kind of watches over Owen, it feels like.
Caden, who are we now introduced to?
Baby Blue.
And this dinosaur does have a name. Its name is Beta, but we don't learn that until later.
I don't care. It's still Baby Blue.
Baby Blue?
Yes.
Nobody really knows how Baby Blue exists. We do, but you'll know here in a little bit. And I wrote this down: scary slow-mo Blue.
Oh yeah, because Blue and Baby Blue are being watched as well by some hunters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a father and a son, and they take a shot, and the son misses. So Blue just charges at them.
Yeah, this scene is terrifying. This is like the Muldoon sequence from the original Jurassic Park level of tension. And then we cut back to Owen and Maisie, where he's doing a cheesy dad knife lesson with her at the campfire.
Forgot about that.
And off in the distance, that poacher that Owen encountered
He's spying on them.
Yep. Then we cut to West Texas.
Wexus.
For any of you who are listening in West Texas, we mean no offense when we say Wexus. In fact, we love you for it. I'm going to let Caden take over for this because this is his favorite plot line of the entire movie.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I stopped taking notes after Wexus. But, all right. So we are in West Texas, and we are at a farmland.
Yeah, it's a small Hispanic family's farm that like neighbors a biosin farm, from what I understand.
And the scene cuts to two little kids just playing around, taking care of the animals. And there's a little boy, and he notices a massive, I would say, about foot-long locust.
Yeah.
And he starts backing away. The locust flies away into the fields, and there come millions of them.
And when we say like this is a swarm, like swarm,
there is enough there to block out the sun.
Yeah,
from a decent height. But I want to emphasize how good they made that look, because the swarm in this is fantastic.
They really put their effort in for the locust effects, and I really applaud them for it.
Oh,
Because one, there's a bunch of practical ones that they use quite frequently. The
mhm.
only CGI ones they use is when they're swarming.
Or like when the locusts themselves are like really moving.
Yeah, but everything else is completely practical. So props for that because they look freaky, man.
And even the CGI one, watching millions of them just rise out of cornfields, wheat fields, whatever, terrifying.
Yeah, no bueno. It's no bueno.
But the kids run inside into a barn
Mm.
and lock the door as best they can as the swarm passes over them. These locusts are hitting the barn hard enough to almost act like bullets,
Oh yeah.
because one hits the wood of the door and flies through it still.
Mm.
So the kids manage to capture it under a metal bucket and wait until the swarm passes before they can leave.
Mm-hmm.
Which after that, we then cut to Ellie Sadler.
Which, all right, I'm gonna round up our next 3 nostalgia points here.
Do what you got to do.
1, obviously the return of Ellie Sadler.
Okay.
2, she's wearing the same colors of clothes that she's wearing as she was in the first movie.
That one would be kind of a stretch, but all right.
And 3, Ellie does the glasses thing. Like the way she takes off her sunglasses, kind of like the same way she did in Jurassic Park when she first sees the Brachiosaurus.
Now it feels like you're just reaching.
Wow. It's my point system and I will treat it as such. Back off.
I'm just being honest here.
You're not bringing anything to the new and entertaining to the table. This is my attempt at doing that.
I could bring new and entertaining stuff, but you'd shoot it down.
Because we're not having the Wexus variety hour. And this is why we can't take board meetings seriously.
Well, howdy, y'all. Welcome to Wexus. What does Wexus stand for? Well, Wex Texas, of course.
All right, Sandy Cheeks.
I haven't been to the beach in a minute. My cheeks are not sandy.
That's a good one.
I know. That's why I said it. Oh.
Either who, Ellie's back, and she's taking readings on the locusts. And we learned that the locusts are eating everything that's not biosyn seed.
Which already that should kind of click something in your mind like, hey, that's not adding up.
Biosyn, isn't it that one company we talked about in the beginning of the movie that's potentially a villain of this movie?
Them? The villain? No.
I liked how we did that at the same time. That was nice. Then we cut straight to Utah. Where we get the return of the one, the only, the Indiana Jones ripoff, Alan Grant. And then another nostalgia point. You gotta let me have this, all right?
I'll let you have it.
Alan and Ellie have a meeting, and they're essentially catching up, old friend stuff, and pretty much she asks him to come with her to Biosyn to help her investigate. And Alan's like, man, I'm a digger. I'm not a spy. like, I don't do espionage kind of things. And Ellie mentions that her and Mark, who is her husband in the third movie, are split up. And not long after that, Alan decides to change his attitude about going. There's some no blurred lines there whatsoever.
No, absolutely not.
And we learn that Ian is the resident philosopher over at Biosyn.
Or as he's called in movie, chaotician.
Yes. And he is the one who talked to Ellie about Biosyn, and he is essentially like their way in. Totally not setting up a reunion there or whatever, but anywho.
That was louder than I thought it would be. I apologize.
Oh, Lord. Great. More editing work for me. Then we get Maisie and Baby Blue.
Yeah. I love Baby Blue.
I would say this is like the most tender scene in the movie. Because like it's Maisie like finding, she doesn't know yet, but like her equal. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh, well, fine.
I do, but that's a really weird way of describing it.
I don't know how else to describe it. I'm not smart.
Yeah, you said it, not me. Pretty much, you could just call her. You could just say Baby Blue's a companion.
Yes.
Equal would be kind of a stretch,
right? But Blue doesn't like Baby Blue messing with Maisie.
I don't think it's Maisie. I think it's just humans in general.
Either way, Owen interferes, and Owen gets cut on the hand. We don't really get to see the after effects of this cut, which I'm kind of sad for.
Later on in the movie, we do see his hand is bandaged.
Say his hand is bandaged for like a decent chunk of the movie.
I can only assume though that cut would be pretty nasty,
right? And at this point, Maisie runs away from home. I can't talk. All right, it's been a long day.
Runaways. What are you doing? I'm running away from home, Mom.
When you put it like that, it sounds ridiculous. And only like that does it sound ridiculous. We're professionals, folks. Trust us.
Professionals.
Quote unquote.
So it's during this little interaction that Maisie kind of gets captured.
So this is kind of a weirdly edited scene because it cuts back and forth like 20 different times.
Yeah.
We have, I wrote BB for Baby Blue. Baby Blue gets trapped.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blue gets pushed over a cliff with a truck.
I took inspiration from you. I wrote car versus Blue. Car wins.
Yeah, because I've come to be that cynical in my notes whenever there's a conflict. I just put V in between two things. But yes, as Caden says, poachers get both Blue and Maisie.
And the poachers is kind of headed by the poacher that grabbed the Allosaurus we talked about earlier.
And Claire and Owen go to the rescue, and Owen makes a promise to Blue to bring her baby back.
And this is kind of the point where Blue actually scratches him.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because Owen's trying to calm Blue down, and she swipes at him.
Yeah.
But he just like puts his other hand down, puts his hand down, puts his other hand up, and just does not lose eye contact.
Right. And then it cuts to Franklin at the CIA.
Yeah, I often forget that he and the other girls in the movie,
Right.
because for all of like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to finally see that he has like a big boy job. Not to make it sound like that, but like how he goes from like a tech analyst to a getaway driver
to a
he's working
CIA agent.
Yeah.
Like, man, I wish my career could have that kind of escalation.
Right. Hey, you never know.
Fast food worker to podcast reviewer to the president.
Dear God.
He pressed the big red button.
That reminds me of the one episode from The Simpsons when Ned goes insane and the doctor gets called at home. He's like, "Dear God, have mercy on us all." Then we learn that the poachers are connected to a much larger network through somebody named Santos.
Mm-hmm.
That we're not entirely sure who that is yet, but we will eventually. And we learn that there's an undercover agent that Owen knows. And it's Barry from Jurassic World.
He's returned.
And that is, and for those of you who don't know, that is the raptor helper of Owen's. The one that Blue attacked in like the log or whatever during the motorcycle chase or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now cutting back to another different story.
Yay!
And this is when that really starts to take over most of the movie.
It's like, it's not bad, but
it definitely I don't hate it, but I just feel like they cut it so crazy. Because like you spend 20 minutes with like these guys, cut over, here's another 20 minutes, cut back, here's another 20 minutes.
I mean, it makes sense though with the amount of characters there are.
Right. But it's fine. It's understandable why they did it the way they did it because of just how much they're trying to cover in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it drags at all or if it feels rushed of any kind. I feel like the pacing is just fine.
Yeah.
I think it's just more of the having to go back and forth when you're just getting into like the meat of like one of these arcs. You're like, later.
We'll come back to this one in about 20-30 minutes.
It's like same bat time, same bat channel, tune in next week, bro, kind of situation. Then we cut back to Ellie and Alan, and they get into Biosyn, and we meet Mr. Ramsey Cole.
At first, I was not a fan of this character.
No. And they definitely make him play out like the corporate guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays it really, really well.
Oh, absolutely.
And this is when Ellie and Alan meet Dodson. He's
very sporadic.
He's very sporadic. He's very much a quirky guy. He's definitely not like villain. He's definitely not like the mustache twirling, money grabbing guy or whatever, and anything like that.
No.
I think that's kind of like what sets him apart, I would say. But we get into Malcolm's lecture, and excuse me, I put down a no excuse forever. Your failure will not be tolerated. I put down a nostalgia point, because he's like back in like his original look too. Like he's got like those really skinny sunglasses and like the full black leather outfit or whatever.
Right.
And he's looking good, man. I think this is his best look. And I do have to make a comment because later on in the movie, and I didn't bring this up to you when we were watching the movie because I just glimpsed it, but he like started just unbuttoning his shirt for no reason, and he just quickly started to button his shirt back up. It's like, hey man, you don't have to be flashing the six pack out like you was back in '93, all right?
Hey, let the man do what he wants.
Right? And it is Jeff Goldblum, so. Uh, After the lecture, we have our meet and greet, and we learn that Ian is a super spy, essentially.
It super spy? No.
He's
Double
gonna
crosser?
he's
Yeah.
good at working this system. Let's say that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like he orders a coffee and he knows it's just loud enough, and he knows exactly where to stand out of view of the cameras or whatever.
And before we go more into that, I love this whole sequence because
Because of Alan,
you have Ian talking to Ellie over the coffee maker.
and Alan just arguing with the
barista.
barista.
The barista's like, "What do you want?" Like, I don't know. Large black coffee. We got venti. We got macchiato. What do you want? And Alan's just freaking out. I was like, I just want coffee.
It's like the meme of like the old guy going into a coffee shop, and it's just like
Mind blown.
and then we get another returning character. Henry Wu is back, and we learn that he is working for Biosyn now, and I do want to bring this up now because it is not mentioned really in any other movie. InGen does no longer exist.
And that was around the Lost World?
No. InGen fell apart after the Jurassic World incident. They just never really brought it up. So during the Fallen Kingdom, InGen no longer exists.
That's what I meant, the Fallen Kingdom.
Because InGen was a part of the Masrani corporations.
Mm-hmm.
And from what one of the news things in that movie is that they're paying like billions of dollars in lawsuits or whatever. So I'm pretty sure InGen and the Masrani Corporation just kind of fell apart.
Right.
Because especially after like the Lockwood incident, like that would have been like the last real like threads of InGen, and that's just gone too.
Which, real quick, I wonder if the Masrani corporations would still be tied into InGen.
Well, Masrani took over InGen,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm sure he just had his own business and he was just running InGen as well. But yeah, it doesn't really say much because I'm sure without Mr. Masrani, I'm sure it all just fell apart anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't really have a business guy like that very often.
No, which I still love his character even to this day.
Right.
I don't think, aside from Hammond himself, I don't think there's been a better side character.
Right. And now we learn that Maisie is heading to Biosyn.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote this kind of out of order, but it's fine. We are now back to Malta, where we have the exchange with Santos, and we meet our pilot, Kayla, which for a solid half hour we didn't have a name for. I love how we're like, oh, heck, this character's here. Wait, there she is again.
Nameless character, and it's only during like the last 20 minutes that we find out her name.
Right. So I went back through all my notes because I just had pilot. And then afterwards I just put slashes and like, oh, Kayla. This is when, because I think this is the Maisie handoff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Baby Blue's not here, I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh, she is?
Because how it happens is Maisie and Baby Blue are transported separately
Mm,
to Santos.
gotcha. All right.
Maisie is handed directly to Santos, whereas Baby Blue is put in a more secure container.
Gotcha. All right. And this is when we get Barry and Owen meet back up with each other.
And this is a whole military operation about to go down.
Yeah, because this is their undercover thing where they're trying to bust Santos or whatever. I wrote black market dinos and
Yep.
dino fights, and I would say this entire sequence is just because of the implications of the last movie, of like the whole being sold to different warlords, black crime families, all this other stuff. Um, and then this is when the undercover mission happens, and we have this whole thing is just like chaos. But we're gonna try to piece it together here. Um, there's a dinosaur rampage.
What were the devil dinosaurs called?
I never knew.
I wrote it down somewhere, but during the whole chaos, there's two of them in that underground black market.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them was blue. I don't know if you saw that or not. They were two distinct colors from one another.
Huh.
One was like a very dark shade of blue, while the other one was like the normal
Red one.
red color you see.
Nice.
But they obviously had to be from the same species. They're not fighting each other right away.
Right. And this is when Owen is chasing Delacourt, who is
Allosaurus?
not yet.
No, I was wondering if that's what they were called.
No. Allosaurus is like the really long, kind of beaky looking, taller raptor looking things. That was in like the chair part of Fallen Kingdom. When Owen and Franklin are in the bunker.
Owen and Franklin.
Claire and Franklin, sorry.
Okay.
And we have Owen chasing the poacher, who we learn his name is Delacourt. And Owen and him have a fight, and he loses. Caden, how does he lose?
Well, there's 3 different dinosaurs that come after
Oh,
him.
yeah, because this is part of the dino fights. I'm going to let you take this little monstrosity thing.
So, unfortunately, I don't know the name of any of the dinosaurs. But there is like a little fighting ring that they put different breeds of dinosaurs in. One of which is almost like a baby stego.
Something like that.
Another one is like a really weird miniature raptor.
Yeah.
Bigger than a compy, but smaller than a raptor.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he gets pinned down, and baby stego and small raptor have his arms pinned as he's struggling to get free, and
the Allosaurus. That's an Allosaurus.
The one that comes out.
Uh-huh.
Allosaurus is chained up, and it breaks the chains, just snaps on his head.
And Owen's like, fatality. I'm kidding.
Carnosaurus.
Is that the little...
Carnotaurus is the devil dinosaur.
Oh. Cool.
That's the one we saw
in Fallen Kingdom and whatever.
Fight Rexy.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to assume that's the one we see during the Black Market escapade.
Gotcha. And then this is when we learn that Santos like has Maisie, and it was delivered to her in person. Santos has a little something special up her sleeve. Do you want this, or do you want me to take this?
You know what? I think we'll tag team it.
Okay. I'll lead us off with the facts and everything, and I'll let you take the action. How about that? So, as everybody knows from the previous episode, the Indoraptor was supposed to be the perfect made weapon. Here we have something a little bit better than that, but this was a natural species. We have the Atrociraptors. These things are terrifying. They're far more vicious than the Velociraptor. They're not really as calculating as Velociraptors,
No.
but they are 100 times more programmable.
They're 100 times more programmable, and not only that, but they are determined.
Yeah, they're relentless. So Santos has a bracelet that she's able to control the Atrociraptors with.
Kind of like a laser bracelet.
Yeah, it's literally it's essentially like the Indoraptor system, but they used it on an actual species. And Santos was like, that's where those guys messed up. They tried to make one. We already had one. That's not the line she used, but that's the closest I can come up with. And at this point, Claire is chasing Santos, and the Atrociraptors get loose.
And there is 4 of them.
Yes.
And they are not smaller than raptors. They are about the same size.
I think they might be a little bit bigger.
I think they are too.
But this is where we get Claire chases Santos. That chase ends very abruptly. And then Claire gets chased by Atrociraptors. And I'm going to let you take it from here because this is when like the action starts.
So Santos is cornered by this CIA mission team or
by
whatever.
Owen and Barry and the other team or whatever.
And it's at this point where she unleashes the Indoraptor or the Atrociraptors. She targets individual unnamed soldiers, and they are taken out quickly.
It's a massacre.
Oh, absolutely. And the only reason Owen, Barry, and Claire are able to survive is because A, plot armor, and B, plot armor. But Owen ends up getting on a bike because
it's Owen.
Well, it's Owen, and I think either Baby Blue is just now getting to the transport site.
Something like that.
And so it becomes a chase sequence. So now as he's riding away, he's got 2 Indoraptors on him.
Atrociraptors.
I'll do that a lot. I apologize.
Just say A-Raptors.
No, that's dumb.
Oh, okay.
But as he takes off, that leaves Barry to fend off against the other 2 until Santos targets Claire. So now it's 1 for Claire, 1 for Barry. Barry gets stuck in I want to say shipwrecked boat almost, or very damaged sailboat.
Something like that, yeah.
And
because at this point, that's when Claire hops in the truck that Kayla starts to drive or whatever.
Which, yeah, I was going to get there.
Because I know at the end of it, Owen and Barry are able to put the Atrociraptors back in their cages or whatever.
One of them.
Yeah, because it starts out like they put one away, because that's when the motorcycle chase happens. You're right.
But Claire ends up running away as fast as she can. She's going through buildings.
Oh, yeah.
Like Assassin's Creed style, jumping over ledges and all this stuff. And this Atrociraptor is not giving up.
No.
It's making the same jumps. It's crossing every ledge she does. And eventually, she ends up coming into like a family housing unit.
Right.
So she closes every door she can. And she goes to try and hide. So she opens the closet door and, there's the family.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. She closes the door and she starts looking again.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's like a little foggy for me.
Because like this is all happening at once.
Yeah. But I did mess up the Barry part. Owen and Barry manages to escape the boat thanks to Owen.
Right.
So that's the one Atrociraptor that they got in the cage.
Yeah.
So the other two are following Owen. The last one's following Claire. Claire jumps from the apartment balcony onto another one, but misses.
Mm-hmm.
So now she's hanging on by the ledge. And the Atrociraptor makes the jump fully and actually overshoots it into the apartment.
Yeah. Yeah, because this is when Claire gets in the truck, because she falls in the truck or whatever.
Yep, she falls in the truck, and Kayla is actually in the truck, or she gets into it, looks at Claire, and is like, all right, hold on, we're taking off.
Yeah, because they interacted before this, because Claire was asking around for where Maisie was or whatever.
Which Kayla was in the black market.
Yeah. And she feels bad, so that's why she's helping. I wrote down epic clothesline. Does that ring any bells?
It does. During the Kayla Claire chase scene, Kayla's kind of maneuvering through the Malzay streets. And I think one of the Atrociraptors goes through a construction site, and gets clotheslined by a metal pipe.
Oh, I think you're right. That was like the one part. Like I said, this whole sequence is a gigantic blur. We may completely got this wrong. We tried our best.
It's a lot cooler than I made it sound, I promise you.
And it just doesn't help where they have like 3 different action sequences whining with each other.
Yeah.
But Kayla and Claire get to the plane, and this is when Owen comes back, and he like does raptor chase motorcycle plane jumping Indiana Jones level crap, as you do.
And this was another scene I really liked, because, if I may,
go ahead.
Claire and Kayla are in Kayla's plane, actively taking off, and Kayla's trying to stall as much as possible for Owen. The plane starts taking off as Owen comes onto the runway, and he manages to pull a wheelie to get onto the ramp. He ends up sliding, so he separates from the bike, and one of the Atrociraptors jumps on as well.
Yeah, because the bike goes flying up towards the cockpit. It slams against the wall or whatever.
And as the plane starts leveling higher and higher, the bike falls out, smacking the Atrociraptor out with it.
Yeah.
But now, real quick, here's the problem. What happens to the Atrociraptors? Because I think at this point, Santos is in custody.
Yeah.
What happens to the other 3? They're still loose in Malzay. Even worse, one of them's in the water.
That is a great question for the Maltesan government. How they're handling that kind of panic.
Threat?
I'm sure they're fine. Hey, they got Barry. That's got to count for something. To some degree, if he hasn't left already, I suppose.
Oh, I'm sure he got right out of there.
But Kayla tells Owen and Claire that they will fly her to Biosyn. Then we cut back to Ellen and Natalie. There's Alan and Ellie. Dear Lord. They're getting the Biosyn tour, and it cuts to Maisie and Dr. Wu. Now, I just want everybody to just take a step back, because we're about to give you the biggest dump.
And it's kind of convoluted, kind of not, based on information from the last movie.
It is the biggest lore correction dump, and this literally goes on for about a good solid 10 minutes. So what we're gonna we're gonna simplify this as best we can. Um, Maisie is not a clone, not completely.
To an extent.
So there, Blue was able to reproduce asexually. So was Charlotte.
Maisie's mom.
And it's because of a genetic experiment she was doing on herself.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte had a disease. That's what she died of.
It was a genetic disease, which is why she was working on genetics.
And so while she was, before she essentially implanted Maisie into her, she went into her genome and corrected it to where she wouldn't have
this disease.
And so she was born naturally fine. And that is what Wu wants. Because Wu wants to understand how to, because he doesn't want anything to do with the locusts. He blames himself for it because it's on the verge of an ecological collapse.
Because something we hadn't mentioned yet is the locusts eat everything but biosyn grains, but that is still a lot of stuff they're eating.
It said they've eaten most of the fields in the Midwest.
So they end up eating, and then they end up mating, which means there's more locusts that need to eat more.
Yeah. And Wu wants to fix this, but Dodson doesn't want him to because he doesn't want to show a failure of any kind on biosyn. And that's why it kind of sets him apart from the other villains, is because he set it out because they were supposed to, I 100% forget, but they were supposed to, weren't they supposed to spread something to the other seeds or whatever, to the fields? It was supposed to be something beneficial to mankind originally, but then it just turned into a monstrosity.
I don't think it was anything like that. I think the locusts were genuinely just designed to eat any crop but biosyn.
Oh, I'm not entirely sure.
But
either way, Wu wants to stop it. Dodgson won't let him, but he needs Maisie and Beta, which is Baby Blue's name, to understand how to go in to fix the genome. So that way it can essentially kind of virus the other locusts and destroy it.
Which part of the thing is, I think they originally planned to have some kind of control or failsafe for the locusts.
Right.
But it backfired.
Yeah. Because now they're out of control.
Yeah.
And so, and we didn't mention this, Ian told Ellie to go to sub-level 6.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, during the tour, Ramsey was acting kind of funky-ish, kind of oblivious, maybe setting him up for a trap. You never know.
Which, I don't know, man.
Totally never, right? No. No corporate man would ever set up spies for a trap. Never.
No.
Alan and Ellie hit sub-level 6, and they find the locust lab, and they get a sample. Caden, would you like to hold one of these things?
I would. I'd hold one of them away from the other 1,000 that are in the room.
Is it the safety suit? Would that help?
No. No, because here's what happens. Ellie and Dr. Grant get the DNA sample that they were looking for to prove that biosyn was responsible for the ones in the Midwest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other locusts start freaking out. And so Ellie and Dr. Grant try and leave. They tear through their suits.
Mm-hmm.
Those suits do not protect them.
Yeah. It's not a good situation.
No, I would be crying. I would be trying to kill every last one of those things.
Just start punching random locusts in the air. Whoosh, whoosh.
I mean, you saw how big they are. It wouldn't be a hard target to miss.
Right.
And especially that many.
Right.
I'd say at least 50% of your hits you're going to land on a locust.
Right. And at this point, Maisie and Beta escape. Alan, this is when they're swarming Alan and Ellie. And this is when we have trilogies collide. Alan and Ellie meet Maisie.
And for this little thing, I wrote old romance. Because they get out of the room and Alan kind of covers over Ellie to make sure she stays safe.
Right.
At least I remember that. I think.
I don't really want to have to rewatch this movie for a fact check. But I'm sure you're right.
I'm sure I'm not.
I'm sure one of us is right.
Probably. That's how it goes.
And you can see that Ellie kind of knows who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into that later. And at this point, the ADS is turned off.
Aerial defense system.
Because that
aerial deterrent system?
Aerial deterrent system. That's what keeps the bird-like dinosaurs from attacking helicopters, planes, all that kind of stuff. And this is when we get, I think, one of the coolest attack sequences. It was essentially like bird v plane.
The Quetzalcoatl.
The largest aerial being.
Mm-hmm. Which I might have massacred that name, but that is what I remember it being called.
Right.
And it's terrifying.
This plane gets torn to shreds. There's only...
Sorry,
go ahead.
Kayla's plane is like a...
It's like an old World War II bomber.
I was going to say like a cargo plane / transport plane.
It's this world's Millennium Falcon, and we know it.
By no means is it small.
No.
And this dinosaur's wingspan is larger than the plane's wingspan.
And there's only one parachute,
and
that's in Claire's seat. So Claire ejects, and Owen and Kayla fly through, and we get a plane crash, quote unquote.
Frozen lake.
Yes. And we learn here, we cut back to the others. We learn that Ramsey is a good guy. Because he's like, did you guys get the sample? We're like, what are you talking about, bro? He's like, dude, I'm the one who sent Ian Malcolm. Like, oh, okay.
And like, I was unsure if Ramsey was a good guy up until that moment. I'm like, oh, yeah, I like this guy now. He's cool.
Well, when we were watching this, I wasn't sure if he lived or not. I was like, dude, if he dies, that's going to be so upsetting. Because, like, he's actually, like, the best guy out of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because of how often he stands up to Dodson after this or whatever. And this is where Claire is in the jungle. And I wanted to bring this. I wrote down blind dino equals creepy.
Yeah, because I don't think it gives us a name for it, but it's got 4...
It's like Wolverine claws.
4 razor sharp long talons.
Yeah. And Claire like slowly goes underwater, and there's like a cool shot of this thing just screeching over the water, and it's like the camera's like on like the water level or whatever.
It's like half and half.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see Claire and the dino.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And then we cut to Owen and Kayla on the ice, and we get our first
scientifically accurate.
Bird raptor. That's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm calling it. I don't care what its real name is. I like bird raptor.
This thing's terrifying.
It just a little bit, you know.
Because it's all right. So the ice is already cracking
Right.
from the plane crashing. You think, oh, this bird raptor would be cautious. No, it runs at them.
Yeah, this thing is vicious.
And we learn why it's not afraid to fall in.
Because it can swim.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It swims really good.
It's doing like penguin level stuff in there.
It's like a missile coming at you.
Yeah. Because like Owen falls in and he's like, let me out, get me out, get me out, get me out.
Out of every iteration of the raptor, this is one I would not want anything to do with.
I wouldn't want anything to do with any of them, but I do think this is the scariest outside of the
Atrociraptors.
Atrociraptor or the Indoraptor, I would say.
See, the Indoraptor has like the biggest weakness of simple mindset with laser. The Atrociraptors suffer from the same weakness, but now there's 4 of them.
Right.
Bird Raptor, you gotta fight it on 2 different terrains if you're really unlucky.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, Bird Raptor is by far the most dangerous.
And for anybody who knows like what that's actually called, please leave it down in a comment. Please leave comments for any of these names that we're butchering because we would like to know.
Very much so.
And if you have any funnier names for any of these dinosaurs, also leave those down in the comments section.
No, let's move on from Bird Raptor to Big Bird.
Yes. Totally not sponsored by Sesame Street.
Yeah, right.
Then we cut to the control room, and Dodson wants to see Malcolm and Ramsey immediately. Then it cuts to Ellie and Maisie and Alan, and we learn that Ellie knew Charlotte, and so that's how she recognizes her.
Which, didn't they mention that as before the first park opened?
No. Maisie was born in the early 2000s.
I meant Charlotte and...
Oh, Charlotte was there at the first park. Yes, when she was a kid. Yes. Because that was before Lockwood and Hammond's falling out or whatever. And now at this point, with the new info dump, does that mean they really broke up about that? Or was that something else?
I don't know.
Because like that would have been after Hammond died.
I don't know.
Where is the connective lore? We need it. It's not here.
No, let's just... No.
And by the 3 of them are on a little tram system because they're trying to escape.
Hyperloop.
And
I like Hyperloops.
You like bullet trains anyways.
I like trains.
So do I. And this is when we get Ian v. Dodson. I like this scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because Ian just like lays it out flat. And he ain't taking no prisoners, man.
No.
And then it cuts to Claire in the jungle again. And we see a tree shoot. And you wanted this on Nostalgia Points because it resembles the parachute from Jurassic Park 3.
Which, you and I talked about that. It was a very long shot, but...
It was the one you wanted. It's the one you got.
See, I can add to your ideas.
Then we get Rexy. This is like our first real shot of Rexy besides the opening part where she's like in the drive-in or whatever. I don't know if we talked about that or not.
We did not. That was something we completely missed.
I'm sad about that.
Yeah,
Rexy invaded a drive-in.
because she was being hunted.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That's like one of my favorite parts too. Um Either way, Rexy loses and she runs away. Rexy's fine.
Mhm.
Um
Which something else this was a minor fact is as of this point in the movie or when Rexy's being hunted, there's currently 37 dino related deaths a year.
mhm.
And the news actually, from that little news clip we talked about before, actually shows some of them happening. And
Oh
it's
well.
because there's the like hammer tail dinosaur
Mhm.
ends up swatting a car off a highway
Oh yeah.
off of a mountain.
Yeah.
There's one video of a little girl running away from compies as her parents just record her.
Hey babe, you think we can get money from this from America's Funniest Home Videos?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, just put it on TikTok. I'm sure it's fine. Um, but then we get Ian to the rescue, and Caden, what is this man driving?
He's driving a very souped up Jeep Wrangler?
Gladiator.
Gladiator.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first Jurassic movie that is not sponsored by Mercedes.
Which I will say, all the cars and vehicles in this movie, or the franchise, I would love to have.
Say they're top notch.
Oh, absolutely. Because you got the iconic Jeeps from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
You got the set of vehicles from
Lost World.
Lost World. You got the gyrospheres, which are cool.
Yep.
And then you got the Jeep Gladiator, which that thing's a beast.
It's an off-road wonderland.
It ends up tumbling down a mountainside and does like 14 flips.
It's fine.
Completely fine.
God, I love American-made vehicles. And I love this next part because Dodgson's essentially deleting his search history. And Ramsey's like, "Sir, what are we doing?" He's like, "If we erase it, it'll be like it never happened. We can start fresh." Because like he's all about like the business.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really about the money or whatever. It's more just like the image and the business.
The branding.
Yeah. And so he's trying to save that. Meanwhile, we were back at the mines, and I calling these guys Gatorsauruses.
I went the other way. I wrote Crocodilosaurus.
I need to put that in like a poll. Which one's better, Gatorsaurus or Crocodilosaurus?
They kind of look like baby Spinos, though.
They kind of do, yeah. It looks like somebody literally just took an alligator or a crocodile and just like super glued some fins on the back of them.
And some dinosaur legs.
Yeah. Like, have at it, boys. We just need to make sure they're back at the enclosure by 9.
Sir, it's 9:20. Ah, dang. Oh, well.
Maybe they meant 9 a.m. Keep rolling. We need to get all the Crocodilosaurus and Alligatosaurus footage we can get here, ladies and gentlemen. But, sir, we have 12 hours of work. Do it. Yes, sir. And these things chase them and
Chase
Alan, Ellie, and Maisie. And sadly, one of them gets Alan's hat.
Which he doesn't get back this time.
That's like the thing. Indiana Jones' hat is magic.
It always come back.
This hat don't have that magic.
No.
I think it's because it doesn't have the George Lucas magic.
I don't know. Alan's hat came back quite a few times, though.
That was like the running gag in 3, wasn't it?
I think so. Somehow his hat would get taken off, and he'd always manage to get it back.
Right. This is when, oh yeah, they're at the gate,
Mm-hmm.
and then Ian's like, okay,
Code wizard.
Yeah, he's like, oh my gosh, this is my thing. This is numbers and stuff. It's like there's like 13 million code combinations, And so he's just like trying out his kids' birth dates and stuff, just like the most random numbers. And Ramsey's just watching him do this, and he just puts in the code on the computer, and Ian's like, "Oh my gosh, it worked."
Which I like to think that if Ramsey hadn't have stepped in, Ian would eventually have gotten it.
Right?
Like, well before the crocodilosauruses got to them.
He would have got it just as like the bite goes in that starts killing him.
Oh yeah, managed to pull him out right as the jaws snap.
It's like, oh, I'm just gonna get back in my Jeep now. It was nice seeing you all again.
But so now at this point we got Ian, Ellie, Alan, and Maisie all together.
Yep.
And on the other group we have
Owen
Owen,
and Kayla.
Claire. Oh, so many names.
Owen and Kayla, and then Claire's still on her own out here. So that means we are up to 3 parties right now.
Mm-hmm.
And,
which I guess we technically lied to you. Before there was 4 parties.
Oh, the Ramsey stuff or whatever?
Well, Ian was separated.
Oh, yeah.
If we want to count Ramsey in that, there's 5.
It's fine. It's all fine.
Oh, there's so much going on.
And guess what? It only gets busier after this.
Yeah, which is so funny because there's less groups.
For now.
Yeah.
But no, Claire comes face to face with the Dilophosaurus, and this is its first real appearance since the original movie.
The frill.
Yep.
Yeah. Poison spitter.
Yep. And I put down a nostalgia point for that.
I love this part.
I'm gonna let you take this because of how much you love it.
Okay, so Claire gets backed up into this like treehouse watchtower.
Yeah,
point,
I think it's an observatory tower or something.
and she's close to a ladder to get into the watchtower, but this Dilophosaurus is just creeping up on her. So she's watching it to see what it does, and as it's about to pounce, you see an arm come off of the screen, like out of the side of the screen, and just grab the neck of the creature. And it turns out it's Owen. He just choke slams a Dilophosaurus.
And where it's like eating its own spit and everything.
And so it just kind of runs away with its tail tucked between its legs, like, oh man. I think it's so funny. Because out of everything he could have done, he could have kicked it, he could have punched it. No, he chokes it.
It's like, man, I only waited 20 years to come back to the screen, and this is what happens to me.
I get 3 minutes of screen time and choke slammed.
By Chris Pratt, no doubt. This sucks, man.
It's a good scene, though.
It is. It's genuinely hilarious.
So now 3 teams become 2.
And now we cut back to Dodson, still deleting his search history. He quote unquote kills all the locusts by setting them on fire. But they escape.
Because these locusts, like I mentioned before, they're about a foot long, so they're probably 10, 15 pounds.
At most.
So they're flying around, and they end up smashing through the air duct and escape. And I love the visuals for this scene.
Yeah, because they're flying through the jungle. They're literally starting forest fires.
But it's not even that. Just the effect of the swarm on fire,
right,
is a spectacle to watch.
And this is when we get the funny Jeep Gladiator scene, where I forget like how exactly they get in this position in the first place, but they're like teetering over an edge.
Oh, so as the swarm's moving through the island, they start dropping on the Gladiator, and one drops right on like the air vent. And so everybody's freaking out about it, and
yeah, Ian misses a turn or something,
gets
something like
distracted, and so now they're teetering over the edge of a cliff.
And Maisie's like, should we like lean the other way? And Ian's like,
yes, everybody lean.
That's a fantastic idea, Maisie. Everybody just slowly lean over to the left. And everybody just slowly does it, and they're like, okay, we're fine. We're fine. Then it just rolls.
Which is so sudden too. You're like, oh, they're actually going to be able to get off. Nope.
And this is when we have nostalgia fan fest. Ladies and gentlemen, the old boys meet the new blood. Everybody is in one team now.
About time.
It's only been 3 hours so far. Actually, no. There's still like an hour left of this movie.
I don't know.
Okay. There's at least 45 minutes left of this movie.
Which, it's not all that eventful.
Mm-mm.
Aside from the ending.
Yeah.
I would like to say, during the flaming swarm, it did catch the attention of a few dinosaurs.
Mainly the Giganotosaurus. Because he's like, hey, what is this bug hitting me in the face, man? What the heck?
And this actually leads us to the current scene. Everybody's back together. Everybody starts meeting. Giga enters the scene.
And then everybody's like working together to try to survive. Then we have Ian over here who makes a torch, like a spear torch, out of one of the dead locusts, and he's doing his over here, which gets a nostalgia point.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you counted that as a point or not.
And he survivors this thing. He just like chucks it into the mouth of the Giganotosaurus,
and it explodes.
He starts to have like fire breath in this moment, which is even more terrifying. Like, great job, Ian.
You somehow made it even worse, and you made it mad.
Yeah.
Now what's the plan, wise guy?
Run. That is the plan.
Okay, real quick, thinking about it, with the Giganotosaurus being longer, do you think it had a quicker running stride?
Potentially. I don't know. You never really got to see it at that capacity, really. The Giganotosaurus only has like maybe 15 minutes of screen time, I would say.
By far, it's the most consistent one we see aside from Blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody works as a team to try to get inside. And
the observatory.
Yes. And they do. They barely escape the Giganotosaurus. And this is when the evacuation of Biosyn starts.
Which this is a really interesting concept because the people are evacuating while the dinosaurs themselves are heading to the central part of the island where all the people are.
Yeah, because they all have like implants or something in them that like tells them where the safe zones are or something like that. Ian and Owen start to bond, and he's like, "Wait a minute, you train dinosaurs?" and I love this part because it's just like these conversations are like the conversations we've been hoping would happen since like Jurassic World or whatever. Alan's like, "You are the guy who trained raptors. That's cool, dude." And Owen's just like, "It's mutual respect. It's not really training, man."
You know what we did forget to mention? Kayla was in the military at some point.
She was in the Air Force.
Yep.
And Owen was a Navy. Yeah.
So I feel like that's because they kind of bond a little bit as well.
Yeah. Then we cut to Dodson's office where we see
the shaving cream can,
which like that's like the mother of all nostalgia
references.
points. Also, how? I want to know, how did he get that can?
I'm going to assume it had some kind of like tracking beacon in it.
Maybe.
Which once the island flooded, it probably went out to sea, in which Dodgson and his crew managed to capture.
Anything's possible. That or now the Telltale game is canon. Which, great. Um, but no, at this point, Dodgson and Ramsey kind of have it out. He's like, I don't want to be like you. And he's just like, but I love you. It's like, I wanted you to be me. Or
And
some weird stuff like that.
And Ramsey's just like, no, I want to be better than you.
Yeah.
And so, does Ramsey quit at this point or no?
Yeah. Yeah. Then we split up into teams again, man.
Yay.
We have Team Claire and Ellie, who are gonna flip on the power to reboot the system. To get the ADS back running.
Which I guess we should also mention, they do leave the observatory.
Yes, they're like going through the underground or whatever, and they're back in the control hub or whatever.
And they meet Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey's with them. And then we have Team Owen, Maisie, and Alan. They're gonna go get Beta because he made a promise to a dinosaur, which Ian finds hilarious. Everything about Owen, Ian finds just highly questionable, and I love it.
Understandable though.
Let's see here. Now we get to Dodgson's escape in the tube, or his attempt to escape, anyways. Then we cut to Team Ellie, where they get dead bugs.
And
you
forgot a team.
What?
Ian and Ramsey.
Yeah, Ian and Ramsey are doing what Ian and Hammond was doing in the original Jurassic Park, and that's giving obscure instructions
on very difficult things.
Yeah. It's all good, man. Then we cut to Team Owen, and Alan is like terrified of being eaten by raptors, which like fair. And then Maisie does the eyes on me thing, which is like, hey, that's something, I think.
Learn from the best, quite literally.
I guess. And then Alan and Owen are doing the triangulation things, so Alan gets to essentially kind of like quote unquote train raptors, I guess you could, if you want to call it that. Then we cut to back to Ellie and them,
and they are just beating up these locusts.
Well, they turn on the power and wakes him up, and now Ellie is over here like going taser ninja on these bugs.
But no, the whole thing was they had to turn the power off.
Yeah, that's right, because they had to turn it off to turn it back on.
And it had a reboot system.
Yeah.
Because I think they were just trying to keep it off, which is why it came back on.
And then Claire gets an axe, and she just starts going shining on this thing. And, like, you can just tell she just, like, letting it all out, man. Like, she just lets it have it. And, like, Ellie's just like,
hey, let me get on that.
Like, you go, sister. And then we get our final nostalgia point of the film. Dodgson meets his match with the Dilophosaurus.
3 of them, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
So
and I say this because Dodgson took the spray can, the shaving cream can, and so anyone who touches this thing
is like cursed,
is dead. not on vacation. Dead.
So when they shut off the power,
yeah, because he's on the train during this.
It shuts the power off to the train,
and it like opens the doors or whatever.
So he tries to get out through a vent and tries to run down the railway, only to see one Dilophosaurus. So he runs back. Well, when he gets back in, he sees. Well, he doesn't see it, but there's a Dilophosaurus at the glass window just staring at him.
Yep.
And then it breaks in. So now...
And this is all... Like, all the death is, like, off screen, but all you can hear is, like, the shrilling shrieks of pain. And because he gets spit on, like, 4 or 5 times. Like,
Which Nedry only got spit on once, but you could hear how painful it was.
yeah, I like that man's face is like goop.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoy, I guess. Then we cut back to the group. They're one big group again. Wu joins them because he wants to set everything right.
Mm-hmm.
And now all the dinos are in the main facility area because that's where they're supposed to go in case of emergencies or whatever. And the Giga is here because, of course he is. You got to have that epic final dino battle. And then there is a gigantic circular fountain in this park. I'm going to say a park, but like a garden or whatever you want to call it. Rexy walks behind it, and we get in-person logo recreation, man.
And by far, this is my favorite scene.
Like, when I remember this part, and when we were in the theater, I was like, yeah.
The one part he specifically remembers from the movie.
That's the equivalent of Cap saying Avengers Assemble. Same feeling.
We've waited for it for so long, and now we finally got it.
Absolutely. Then we get Rexy versus Giga. Rexy loses, but she's not dead.
No. That is a clear distinction we should make.
Then we get Giga versus Blindy. He's just like, hey, take my nails. Hey.
I scratch you. You try and bite me? No, I scratch you again.
And then I wrote down Rexy's pissed because she got kicked out. Because he kind of did to her what the Indominus did to her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like, man, I'm tired of these dinosaurs beating me. She gets up and she just like bull rams the Giganotosaurus into Blindy's
nail claws.
And we have our final big boss. 'Tis toast.
Which we forgot to mention what the humans were doing, but we can sum that up real quick.
They're getting on like a little helicarrier kind of deal to escape.
Which the entire time this fight's going on, part of the group gets cut off because of the fighting.
Because you got to have the humans running in between the dino battle.
Mm-hmm. You can't have them running around it for some reason.
No. Then we have our epilogue here, where Alan and Ellie finally get together with a testimony that brings down and tells the truth about what Biosin was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Biosin is now a sanctuary, and all the dinosaurs there are free. Rexy makes friends. I wrote down because it's Rexy. She's the popular girl.
Yeah.
Kayla gets a new plane. Beta and Blue.
They're reunited.
And everything's kosher with everybody else. And this cuts, and I'm pretty sure this is a part of the extended version where Charlotte is narrating the outro. And the entire point of what she's trying to say is we have to coexist. And at the end, you see everything in every shape and form coexisting is happening.
Yeah.
It's finally happening and everything is in harmony. And that would be the perfect way to end the story.
Unfortunately, as we all know, that's not how the story ends. It's a shame, but oh well.
Hey, we only got one more week of this.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to go on to something else for a few more weeks.
Let's go.
All right, guys.
Well, hold on. Do you have any questions?
Oh, I do. Okay, so my question is very difficult to answer. So Owen and Claire are raising Maisie in isolation because so many different people want her for different reasons. Do you think the way that Owen and Claire are raising her is okay?
In the mindset of Owen and Claire, yes, because in their eyes, they're doing the right thing. In the mindset of an outsider's POV, no, because they're keeping her pretty much held hostage.
Right.
So, I don't, me personally, I don't think so. I don't think they're doing the right thing.
I think they're definitely protecting her, but I definitely think they could definitely go different ways about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I got 2 questions.
All right.
First one, would you run a dinosaur sanctuary?
Absolutely.
I think that would be a fun little attraction to do.
I think it just would be like, hey, you got a cow farm? I got a dinosaur farm, bro.
Except we don't eat my dinosaurs, they'll eat you.
Yeah. Rexy, sick 'em.
I would definitely run a dino
Oh,
sanctuary.
yeah.
Now, for the second question, do you think the Indoraptor could win against the Atrociraptors?
No.
You don't think?
No.
Why is that?
One, because the Atrociraptors were much more refined than the Indoraptor because they were bred for that instead of the Indoraptor being built for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Atrociraptors were 100% natural. That just gives it just a significant edge, I would say. Yeah, I have to go the Atrociraptors because one, there is more numbers there, and they do tend to work as in a pack in some instances, while they're not as pack oriented as Velociraptors. Atrociraptors are still pretty pack oriented.
Right.
I'm sure it'd be different if there was more than one Indoraptor, but still, it's a moot point.
I would have to disagree.
Mm.
I think simply because of the genetic makeup of the Indoraptor,
Right.
we've seen it take bullets and it just shrug it off like nothing happened.
Right.
We know that the Indoraptor is extremely smart and cunning, and it's got, well, yes, it doesn't have numbers. That intelligence alone could be very useful for it.
Right.
It's also got the size advantage, so
Right.
it hits harder, but it also has the downside of being an easier target to hit.
Gotcha.
But me personally, I think the Indoraptor could take him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad we both have our shares of opinions there.
Yeah.
All right, Caden. Next week, we are covering Jurassic World Rebirth. And along with that comes the next Real Bros ranking.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure I know how mine is going to go. I'm sure it's going to change by the time we record the next episode, but whatever. It's fine. It's all fine. But yeah, they'll close out the second franchise that we've got lined up this season. We'll be cutting directly into the third, which I'm very excited for the third one because we haven't watched them in a while.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, we got some more fun stuff planned this season. I'm mostly excited for how the end of the season's going to go because we're going to be in October for the end of the season, and we have nothing but pure horror movies lined up for October, and I love that I scheduled it that way. But yeah, make sure you guys tune in next week for Jurassic World Rebirth. Unless you have anything else to add, Caden?
I'm good.
I'm Logan Thomas.
I'm Caden Green.
And this has been the Real Bros Podcast. See you guys next week.
Bye-bye.